Is your revenue climbing, but your profit is staying completely flat? That steady drip, that's sign number one of a major profit leak in your business. But it's not the only one. Are you paying for software you never use while waiting for your clients to pay you? Is high customer churn and squeezed margins making it impossible to scale? Are you and your team drowning in manual data entry? Are you essentially guessing at what your inventory needs are and what your cash flow is going to look like in a few months? If you said yes to any of those, then stay right here, because today we're going to show you exactly how to find and fix the 5 biggest profit leaks in your business. I'm Jay Boykin, a former finance executive and corporate controller. And for me, business success is about just human leadership. Today, we're going to go beyond the bank balance and find the 5 biggest leaks that are quietly draining your company's potential. Let's get into it. Leak number 1 is probably the most common and maybe even the most frustrating. You are working harder, selling more, but the bottom line, it's not moving. This is margin squeeze. You have to understand the difference between your gross and your net margin. And now the fix for this, it's probably time for an honest pricing review. Now, I want you to think about your business using one of my favorite things, and that's food. I love to cook, and one of my favorite dishes to cook is a good Louisiana style gumbo. So now imagine that your product or your service is a perfect pot of gumbo. If the cost for your ingredients, your shrimp, your sausage, all of the ingredients, if that goes up, if you don't adjust your pricing, then you're making less profit. Well, now, maybe you did notice the increased cost, so you decided to cut back a little here and there. Well, now you might be serving a bland, watered down, less than your normal quality result. So you really need to factor in that quality and that value that you bring to your product or your service. And look, this is also a human issue. Margin stability isn't just about the numbers. It's about having the ability to give your team raises, to retain the best people, and oh, by the way, to tackle one of the biggest issues that a lot of small business owners deal with, and that's paying yourself consistently, if at all. So now let's talk about cash flow. This leak is silent but deadly, and you need to look at your accounts payable versus your accounts receivable. This means what you owe versus what you're owed. There's a couple big culprits here. One is unused software subscriptions. We've all done it. You sign up for things, you do the free trial, and you don't realize it, that now you're paying for it. This is the silent killer. And then the other is customers who are paying you late. In this situation with the software subscription, one of the things that you can do is sit down and do a monthly expense review. In this monthly expense review, you can pull all of your past transactions and look through that and look for some of the things that you weren't expecting. Look for subscriptions that snuck in there that you didn't realize that you were paying for, or subscriptions that you're not using anymore. The other thing that you can do is to sit down with your team and you can examine some of those expenses that you can cut out for things that are just not necessary anymore. Next, you can pay attention to any customers who are paying you late. Consider implementing something as simple as a 2% early payment incentive for your clients. You can start that today. Something this small can make a huge difference to incentivize clients to pay you earlier. Time is money, and every day that your cash is late, your business's ability to scale, that clock, it's slowing down. Now, if you have a business where you're getting paid at the point of sale, maybe those other issues are not a challenge for you, but you may want to look at how you're discounting. If you're giving too frequent of discounts or too large of discounts, this is another area that can carve into your profits. Now, are you constantly replacing customers? High churn makes scaling your business impossible. You're spending all of your time and your money just to seemingly stay in the same place. The numbers to watch here are your customer acquisition cost versus your customer lifetime value. Now, customer acquisition cost is the average expense that a business incurs to gain a new new customer. This includes costs related to marketing, advertising, sales discounts, and other efforts to bring in new buyers. So for example, if a business spends $10,000 on all of those things that I just mentioned during the course of a month, and then they earn 500 new customers in that same month, then their customer acquisition cost is $20. It's $20. You are spending $20 to attract new clients. Conversely, customer lifetime value is the total amount of revenue or profit that a business expects to earn from a customer throughout the entire duration of their relationship, from the first purchase to the last purchase. Now, using our last example, if you have a customer that spends $20 or less during their entire relationship with you, and it cost you $20 to acquire that customer, there's a problem. If it costs you more to gain a customer than you make from that relationship, this is a big area to check into, and it might point out that your model is broken. Now, one remedy is to stop charging for hours and start charging for the outcome. This is value-based pricing. You're not selling a task, you're selling a transformation, a solution, a result. And from a human perspective, raising your prices every now and again isn't greedy. It's a confident step that proves that you respect your own expertise, and it allows you to provide an even better service to the clients who value you the most. Now, this next leak, it's not necessarily about money lost, it's about time lost. It's a time drain. Think about the cost of overtime or redoing work, all because of a simple manual entry error. Now, the fix is start small. One method is to create standard operating procedures or SOPs. You can use tools like Loom or Roam. You can record a video of you actually doing this process on the computer, and you can speak while you're recording it. And having this recording will give you the opportunity to share this with new employees, share this with employees who are having a challenge remembering, and it's saving you time. Automation is one key task that you can really pay attention to. It could be automating your invoicing or expense tracking. You can also explore some tools like Zapier, where if you are having to manually move information from one piece of software to another software, Zapier can connect those two, and it can help to automate those repetitive tasks. So now here's my hook for you. Discipline in automation is like the same discipline in your exercise. Doing it once is not necessarily going to make a big difference, but doing it repetitively is going to pay returns. They're going to compound in the long run. And so you can build upon those automations day after day. Finally, this last leak is caused by guesswork. This is when you might buy too much inventory that just sits on your shelf, or you run out of cash because you don't know your cash runway. The remedy is really simpler than you think. You need a simple 90-day cash flow forecast. You don't need a crystal ball. You just need a clear 3-month outlook on what's coming in and what's going out. And you don't have to make this complicated. You can use your past data or your insights to estimate your cash inflows and your cash outflows for the next few months. You start with that forecast and then update it each week with your actual results. This is a discipline that is going to pay off in a big way. You're going to end up with fewer surprises, especially if you end up with some large unexpected bill. So set aside some time weekly to review your forecast. I promise you, you won't regret this one. Think of it this way. I love to go boating, and I would not navigate my boat without my compass. So you don't want to steer your business without a forecast. So there they are, the 5 profit leaks. You've got the margin squeeze, cash tied up in collections, high customer churn, inefficient manual processes, and poor forecasting. Now, the good news is that now that you know where to look, you can turn off the drip. You want to find out which of these leaks is hurting your business the most? I've created a simple quiz to help you diagnose your biggest profit leak. The link is in the description below. Click it, take the 2-minute quiz, and get your personalized action plan. Thanks for watching. Now go out there and plug those leaks.